Oh yeah, yeah. We played games quite a bit, and
Yeah, yeah, I figured.
yeah, and she's really into the Loud House right now.
Oh,
So, and that's like the number two show on Nickelodeon right now,
all
right
right.
after Spawn. And then also she's watching Toll Drama Island. Do you remember that
Yeah.
show?
Hmm.
Yeah, that show was fantastic,
I
and
never
it's made.
watched too much of it. I only watched a little bit, but from the little I did watch, I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, I watched like the whole first season, like each week as the new episode came out.
Right.
And it was a long fucking season. It was like 32 episodes long, and they
I
had
think
each one come
I think
out
first
each week.
season I watched, and then I don't remember how many more I watched after that. I did watch first season at least.
Yeah. Well, the second season is okay, but then by the third season, they like kind of seem to play by more censored rules.
Right.
So, which sucks. Like it becomes more and more child friendly, and I
Right.
like the like more vulgar season one uncensored
Yeah.
version, which is fucking fantastic.
Oh, first season was great. I don't know if I watched all this of the first season, but I definitely watched first season because I heard that it did get a little bit more kid friendly, and I don't remember it being extremely kid friendly. So it had to have been first season that I was watching.
The whole first season stays pretty vulgar.
Yeah.
Uh, and then like it's not quite as vulgar by season two.
Hmm.
There's still a lot of like kind of gross shit and innuendos and
Right.
you know every now and again. But then like I don't know, you watch season three and that's the season that you just don't care for anymore. Like you care for the show anymore because
Right.
it's just super bad. And that season they made it a rule to where they had to do a musical number every episode,
Oh God. Yeah.
and they were like, and they played it off where they were improvising it, and it was just I don't know. Some of them were good, but a lot of them were really bad.
What kind of
So,
games does Nadia like playing?
racers like
Racers like
Mario
Mario
Kart.
Kart, Sonic Team Racing, and Crash it.
Yeah,
Whatever the Crash
we,
racing is. Yeah.
yeah, we've played all three.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's getting pretty good.
Nah.
Except like she wants to play the battle modes all the time.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to do like the Grand Prix.
Right. She wants to. She just wants to use the items and fuck people up with those.
Right. And I've been trying to get her to play more like adventure modes
Mm-hmm.
and convincing her to play like one player and switch off like during certain points or
Take turns and
deaths or
stuff. Yeah.
whatever.
When I was younger, my dad and I would play co-op Donkey Kong Country.
Hmm.
Uh, so yeah, that one was pretty fun. But co-op for that is, he was always Donkey Kong, I was Diddy Kong. When one of you dies, uh, like if he was Donkey Kong, he died, then it would become my turn. Like it'd switch over to Diddy, and then it's second player's turn, and you can get Donkey Kong back, but second player's still in control. It was I really liked their system for co-op when I was younger.
Yeah. Um See, like I like playing one like co-op games, but with someone. But I also prefer. Well, okay, yeah, I do prefer playing like solo games with someone because I think
Yeah,
it's a lot more fun. Like
I
I don't know, it has a lot more of a goal to it.
yeah, no, I know what you mean. I haven't played a lot of games like that, but my buddies and I, when we play like Grand Theft Auto, we'd play this story on it, and we'd try to do it without cheats and stuff. But sometimes we'd have to turn on some cheats to get through it when we were younger. But we'd play until one of us died or beat a level, like beat a story mission, and then we'd pass off the controller. Is how we did it, and we'd just circle it the whole time. Um, have you heard of some of these horror games? Like, have you ever heard of Until Dawn?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so I like what they do. There's a mode that's like a in-house mode for like buddies and friends and stuff to play. You can have like up to 4 players of you and your buddies, and if there's enough characters in the game that they'll be like, okay, so player 1, you choose 2 or 3 characters that you're going to play, and then player 2 does that, player 3 does that, and player 4 does that. No, most of the time it's like 2 characters. There's only enough for everyone to have 2. And then when those characters, it's their story, you play your character. We are one of your 2 characters, and then it hops around, and it hops around in a different order. It's not always like player 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes like player 1, then 4, then 2, 3, and then back to like 2. Like jumps around and stuff. Until Dawn, it didn't start that way, but the same people have made more games, and some of their newer games have that kind of stuff. And I've always wanted to like play through a game like that with some buddies.
Like on Game and Taters.
I'm not doing that as the title anymore. Probably it's just gonna be whatever. I probably won't even really have a title. It's like, all right, hey, we're just playing this game.
I like Game and Taters though.
It's okay. I might still use it, but I'm not sure. I guess since we're in the middle of still recording a Game and Taters, I kind of have to. So never mind. I'm keeping it.
Yeah. What is that? The Legend of Zelda one we're on?
Minish Cap. Mm-hmm. Yep, we're still on.
Oh yeah, so at least for that one. Which
yeah,
that one we don't have a lot left on.
Right. And
you need to get your own apartment so we can finish it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever own and like rent an apartment. I'll get a condo or a house. Is the plan. So
yeah. I've always had a house. I've never had an apartment. But I've stayed in apartments overnight, and it is terrible.
I'm not someone who could do an apartment. I'm a little bit. I'm borderline like on the spectrum. I just cannot live around that many people.
Close to people. And like honestly, like in an apartment building, it can get to the point where everyone's just super petty and just like banging on the floors.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't want to. Colton's told me some horror stories. Of when he lived in apartments. So, I don't want to experience that, and some other friends too. But it always comes back to Colton whenever I'm telling stuff or referencing a friend. It's always Colton.
Like, friends do it pretty well, like, depicting what it's like in an apartment. There's one episode where, like, the old man upstairs is banging on the fucking floor with the broom whenever they're not even doing anything wrong.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So they go up to there and confront him, and he fucking dies on his chair.
Yeah, we haven't got an episode up in was it 2 weeks ago we got a normal episode up, or was it 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks, because the prior Wednesday I had streamed, and then this last Wednesday, no, we didn't do anything.
Gotcha. All right, yeah. So now we're gonna have one up. This will go up on Wednesday. So yay.
Yes, very excited for that.
Finally, so I don't know if much has been going on since since we last got a regular episode up. Not really too much in our lives. I mean, I went on vacation. That's the only thing that happened with me.
Oh yeah, you wanted to talk about that, but first I wanted to ask you: is this? I looked at my last notes page, and the last podcast, did we start off by talking about the huge thing?
No, I don't think we did.
Oh, okay. So I think I do have notes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, go for it. I can talk about my vacation later.
Oh, no. You go ahead and, you can talk about your vacation. But, okay. I mean, we had joked about that disclaimer because we had talked about, our penises on the last
that's right.
episode. And we were just, just for clarification, they're huge.
Yeah, they're huge, everybody. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was, I told Brandon after that episode, it reminded me of the episode of Game Grumps where Aaron was talking about how huge his penis is, and Dan was like, oh, look at me, I'm Aaron, I have a huge cock. I have a deep voice and a huge cock. It just reminded me of that. My voice is not very deep, so I can't say that, but...
mine either.
Yeah, I don't know who has the deepest voice out of our friends. Probably, I guess Slater. Probably Slater.
Slater? Uh-huh. Yeah, or maybe Will's voice is pretty deep.
Will, yeah, that's true. Will's is probably deeper than Slater's.
Hmm.
Maybe it's just
He's
that Slater's a bit more soft spoken. Maybe that's why he sounds like he has a deeper voice.
yeah, yeah. He doesn't talk much at all. So,
Yeah.
and he just projects.
But when he does, especially at his house, it's there's a lot of children. whenever the whenever the siblings start getting too into it with each other. I've witnessed him many times go, children, like, calm down, stop fighting. This is my house, no fighting.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a good friend. He makes sure the brothers and sisters don't tear into each other too much.
are you talking about his brothers and sisters or
No,
what?
no, like Dylan,
Thorn?
Momo, Grace,
Oh, okay,
them.
okay,
But it's not always them. Sometimes it'd be like Jeremy arguing with somebody.
right.
But a
Well,
lot of
we're
the
all
times
sort of
it involves Dylan and one of his sisters.
yes.
It's pretty.
Which I can see that, yeah, yeah. But I feel like we're just all one big happy D&D fan
Oh,
at this
100%.
point.
Yeah, we
'Cause
we
we're all
finally
playing as a fan.
finished the campaign that we were doing at Will's on Friday.
Oh
The one that I
yeah,
was in charge of, Baldur's Gate. We got done with it. They
how'd that go?
well, they got the so they weren't necessarily good guys in their playthrough of it, because there's like 6 different endings that could happen. They got the second best one, probably for people who aren't good guys.
Okay, okay.
So, because there's a better one they could have got, but for this group, I think honestly for them, this is probably the best one that they could have got. The ending that they got. I'm not gonna say too much because I don't want to possibly spoil it for any people who watch this who also play D&D and want to play Baldur's Gate in the future. So I don't want to spoil stuff for them because it's one of the newer D&D stories. So yeah, I don't want to spoil it too much.
Okay, I
Just,
gotcha.
just that there's multiple endings. And Soren did confirm that we're probably starting One Piece on Friday. So
Yes, I was gonna bring that up. I'm very excited about
yes,
that.
and I think Colton will be there. He's pretty excited for it. So
Did he make his character yet, or?
no, me and him are gonna have to do that. He has a date tomorrow, so I don't know when we're gonna find the time to do it.
Oh, do you know who his kid is?
It's one of his. It's one of the girls he talks to on Tinder. That's all I know.
Oh,
An older
yeah.
girl. She's like 31.
Wait, the Tinder girl
The
is?
Tinder girl is, yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
How old is he?
Colton, he's 26.
Okay, that's what I thought. He's the same age as us.
Yeah, he turned 26 last month.
Damn.
Yeah.
See, well, I can't judge because when I was with Randy, I was 22 or 23, and he was 29.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
It's
now Kaylee is like 2.5 years younger than me. So
that's not a bad gap at all.
no,
No,
it's funny because with men it's like they're older, but with women they're younger.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Like,
Normally how it goes. Yeah. I guess I'll talk about my trip. We left last Saturday because we didn't want to drive 11 hours to get there because that would have been a pain in the ass. Because we didn't want to like leave at 3 in the morning on Sunday. So we left in the afternoon on Saturday, and we decided to stay in Paris, Texas, which it got dark. It was right before our leap forward where we lost an hour of sleep. Um,
mm,
and so it got dark, and we stayed in a place in a town called Paris, Texas. Um, this motherfucking place needs lights, dude. At nighttime,
oh
it
yeah.
was hard as shit to see any roads or anywhere we were trying to get. Like trying to get to our hotel was a fucking pain in the ass. It was awful.
Oh, no, actually, I've had some like relatives and friends with relatives who live in Texas, and like it gets so fucking hot that light bulbs outside will start to melt, like during the summer.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And it,
today's the first day of spring, so it definitely wasn't hot enough for that.
it's like if they're just gonna melt by the time summer comes around, then why invest in street lights?
Right. Yeah, there weren't really street lights. It wasn't like there were street lights and they weren't on. There wasn't street lights.
Right, right.
And fuck that it sucked trying to find where we were supposed to go, because Google Maps took me on a road that doesn't exist. Like I got there and it was like dead end, and it's showing me like this loop and shit that I go to get to the parking lot of the motel, and I'm like, um, all right, I guess I'll just have to try and find this place a different way. It was not fun, but we finally found it. We slept there, and then we drove to Galveston the next day, which took us like another 6 hours. Um, and that was kind of a pain in the ass. But before we left Paris, Texas, we saw the Eiffel Tower that has a cowboy hat on top of it. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's not a
That's
huge
cool.
Eiffel Tower. It's probably 30, 40 feet tall, probably. So it
Mhm.
wasn't huge, but it did have a big ass cowboy hat on it.
But like, I just love the effort they put into it.
Oh, dude, the
Like,
cowboy has a fucking fancy cowboy hat. They put a
well,
lot of
and
effort
like,
into it.
it's a notorious joke comparing Paris, Texas to Paris,
Oh,
France.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I do not see a difference.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
I just imagine it like that Office meme where she holds up the
they're
two
the same
pictures.
picture. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, those are great. But yeah, Sunday we got to we rented a huge Airbnb because there was going to be 10 of us. The
Mhm.
people who went and like certain groups was me, my mom, and my aunt Patricia slash my mom's best friend. So uh, we all went together. Talon went with his roommate, um, one of their friends, and the younger brother of his roommate's girlfriend. And then his roommate's girlfriend, her friend, and the girlfriend's grandma came at like 10 o'clock
Jesus.
that night. At first it was only supposed to be 9 people, and then they decided they were going to bring this grandma, and it really fucked up our sleeping arrangements because it was like, all right, so who's sleeping in what room now? It was really
Well, and then
weird.
imagine how much space a fucking grandma's gonna take up. Like, you can't just cram her in there.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly. We had to figure it out. It was weird. So basically, what happened, and Talon, like on his way there, he sent us a text. He was like, I'm going back home with you guys. Like I'm leaving with you guys." And we're like, "Why?" And he's like, "Cause they're already pissing me off." Like, uh, it wasn't his roommate and his friend that were pissing him off. It was uh, the roommate's girlfriend and all, and like that group, the other group was making him mad because
And the brother and
they were
grandma.
making everything take too long. Is what he's because he wanted to leave by like 10 on Sunday, so he'd get there around the same time as us. So we've been around like 4:30, something like that. They didn't get
Yeah.
there until about 6, 7. They left
How long
hours
did it
later.
take again to drive?
Well, he came from a different part of Texas. It was further away, so it was like a 7 hour drive for him. But he came from Pittsburgh to that place where they met up with his roommate's girlfriend and her friend. And then they picked up the grandma and the um, brother, I think, in Dallas, I think is where they picked them up at.
Mhm.
But yeah, he was irritated that people weren't on time. And they brought a lot of shit. Whenever they came in with all their stuff, Talon throws down his bag and one other like drawstring bag, throws it in the next to the doorway where my mom and aunt were gonna be sleeping, and he's like just points like this. He's just like, "That's all I brought." As they're all bringing in all their stuff, and they brought a shit ton of stuff. He's like, "Look at all their shit." He was very annoyed. It was funny how pissed off he was. Um, but that night they went like fishing and stuff, and because we're out, we were out in an island, Galveston Island. It's the Gulf is where it's at, so it's like the water's green, but not like a gross green.
Mhm.
um, so and they have like a seawall, so when it storms, it doesn't like flood the whole fucking place because there was a storm in 1900 that like destroyed the whole town, like the whole island. So they built the seawall so that would never happen again.
Damn.
Yeah.
The water could have been dyed green for St. Patty's
It
Day.
could have been, yeah. St. Patty's Day is when we left.
Oh, well.
Yeah, but
They were prepared.
I made sure to wear green, so I want to get pinched by nobody. No one would try and uh, sexual assault me or anything like that.
Oh yeah.
You should watch the new South Park episode.
Yes, that was fucking hilarious.
It was great. The hat I have back there is a Get Her Done hat. I should have put the hat that I got on vacation up there. I'll do that next time. But yeah, it's a Get Her Done hat, like Larry the Cable Guy.
Nice. I fucking love that. I thought about putting something up here and then I forgot about it.
There we go, Red Bull. Yeah.
I don't know. Hold on. Okay.
But
there we go.
Sunday night they decided
to
go check out the ocean, and Talon's friend, his name's Kyle. He's like 6'6", huge motherfucker, tall as hell. And then he comes back in. And he has this jacket when they get back from checking out the beach. Has his jacket tied around his waist, and he runs up the stairs really fast when they get back. And I was like, "What's up with him?" And Talon looks at me and he goes, "Well, he went to go pee along the seawall where no one would see him, but he didn't get his pants off in time. And he pissed his pants."
What?
Yeah. And I was like, "What?" I just started laughing. I was crying so hard. I just laughed so hard I was crying. It was amazing.
He was in such a hurry.
He was in such a hurry. He just didn't get him off in time. He didn't get unbuttoned and unzipped in time. He wasn't taking them completely off. But yeah, he pissed his pants.
Was it like all of it? Did he just like start and was?
It wasn't the full thing. He started pissing his pants, and then the rest of it he didn't. So he still had a little bit of pee spot on him, but that's why he had the jacket tied around him so you couldn't see it.
I just like to imagine a person doing that, but then like after they accidentally start pissing their like pants, they just kind of freeze and stop unbuttoning and they're just like, "This is my life now."
Yeah, this is. I have to accept this. I piss my pants fully now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I can't go back.
Monday, the whole thing we did, I kind of just hung out with my mom and aunt a little bit. I didn't want to go fishing with them because on Tuesday we went on a fucking 8-hour fishing trip. So because I knew we were doing that on Monday, I decided not to go fishing with them. But it wasn't like out on a boat and stuff like we did Tuesday. But Monday, there's these things called jetties. They're like these rocks, these long line of rocks that go way out into the ocean. That's what they went and they fished on. So while they were gone and I was done hanging out with my mom and aunt, going around town and stuff, looking up places and seeing museums and shit like that, I decided I'd go walk the beach and shit like that. I took pictures of the ocean, all that fun stuff, and flirted with some ladies, trying to boost my confidence levels up, all that fun stuff. Made a lot of people laugh because I'm funny, so I'm much better at it in person. I suck at it on Tinder, but so does everybody else.
Well, that's the thing, like, we would be a lot funnier if we were in person.
Yeah.
And could like bounce.
If we could do this podcast in person, there's a little bit of a lag because we're doing it online, and I'd like to think I've always heard that I'm a witty person. I'd like to think you're also a witty person, so we could go off each other way better if we were in person.
We could.
Yeah.
And also, like, I think we get along too well, so I feel like we also need a third person that could cause more controversy among conversation.
Oh, for sure. Well, and I'm just not a very, like, argumentative person is the problem.
Yeah.
Once the argument goes on for too long, I'm going to be like, I don't care. All right, whatever. I just can't argue. It's just something that I not enjoy too much. There are things I will argue about. There's things I will get heated and, I'll die on this hill about, but most things.
Like politics?
No, I just don't want to talk about politics in general.
Oh, okay.
That I just avoid.
We had a pretty good conversation about politics the other day, I think.
I mean, it's, as long as you're not radical, I don't care. It's like,
right.
I'll get along with you as long as you're not a radical left or radical right, I don't care.
No, I'll still have my opinion, but I'll still be on the sideline.
Exactly.
The entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The vocal minority and the radical people, I never enjoyed.
Yeah, I'm just there on like the sidelines talking shit, yelling at.
Yeah, like, hey, you fucking pussy.
Yes.
You know what? I don't agree with you. Shut up. And then they go, "Who said that?" The crazy person with the pitchfork and torch. You're like looking around at people like.
Do you remember the episode of South Park where the like Hicks are at this like meeting conjugating, and they're talking about like their current problem. And so a guy brings up a question about evolution, and the guy at the pupil's just like, "What are you, retarded? Read a science book."
Yeah, I do remember that one. Yeah, that's one. That one. The episode's amazing. It's one of the best episodes.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
They took her dur.
They took her dur. Yeah, durker dur. By the end of the episode,
it just starts blending more and more, and then you get to the fucking the rooster.
Yeah. I also love like the Vatican when they're all the priests and stuff are freaking out, and it just all they're saying is rabble, rabble, rabble.
Yeah.
For the Vatican episodes, those are always great. But yeah, that was Monday. Monday night we went and ate at Bubba Gump's since that was a place. They had a pier,
awesome.
like on GTA 5, the pier with like the Ferris wheel and roller coaster and stuff like that on it. Galveston has basically exactly that. It looks very similar to the Grand Theft Auto 5 pier.
Probably based off of that.
There's a lot of towns on the ocean that have these piers. The only thing about Galveston is it didn't have a Ferris wheel, but the roller coaster was bigger.
Yeah.
But it costs a lot of money to get on the pier. There's parts of the pier that you don't have to pay to get on, so I checked out those parts. I didn't go to like the actual like rides and shit like that. Bubba Gump was one of the starting things, so we decided to go there. The people who went to go get the reservation were myself, my mom, the grandma lady, and my aunt. And we sat at the bar, and the girl who was working the bar, cute girl, got our number, everything, which I impressed my brother and his friends with that. But
nice.
She asked us what we wanted, and I was like, I don't have to get something alcoholic to stay sitting at the bar, right? And she said no, and I was like, great, I'll take a Pepsi. And the rest of them all got like alcoholic drinks. And later, it's probably 5-10 minutes later, she asked like how the drinks were, and I said, you mix this one really good. It's best Pepsi I ever had. And what she thought was hilarious. So I just made her laugh the rest of the time I was at the bar, and that's how I got her number. It's because I'm fucking hilarious, apparently.
Fucking awesome.
So I felt pretty good about myself on that one. There's some other stuff that I can't tell you about what happened Monday before I went to the bar, because I don't want it on the internet. I'll tell you just some other time.
Okay, that seems fair.
It was fun stuff.
I'll tell a similar story that I guess I'll go ahead and put on the internet.
Yeah, go for it.
So like there was this waitress that I had a really good night with one night, and she thought I was funny. And then so like there was another night where we hung out after hours and whatnot, and we were just at the bar drinking, and I was making her laugh and everything.
Right.
And then I went to go shit. Or no, I went to go piss. And I was at the urinal, and I'm standing there, and then all of a sudden, like, I go to fart, I totally just, like, shit
your
my
pants.
Yeah. I'm like pretty well drunk at this point.
Right.
I'm way past tipsy. I'm just like, oh shit. So I fucking haul ass to the stall. And, and this is a bar that my mom was running at the time. So so what I decided to do was I took the bag out of the trash can because it had just been replaced because they had cleaned up. And then I tied it off, put it in the back of the toilet, and kind of hid it there. And then, like, I, of course, like, cleaned up as best as I could and whatnot. And then I went out there. And she dipped after a while. Like, I went back, I sat there, we talked, and then, like, maybe 5-10 minutes passed, and she was like, I should probably go. And then I kind of, like, was like, okay, shit, I better do this now. And so, like, I kind of had her lured for a bit.
Right.
Like,
and then you came back and you smelled like shit.
Well, like, just, like, in that moment of trying, like, my last minute chance of trying to get laid that night.
Right. Right.
Like, it just, like, it went good for a while. and then yeah, I just never made the goal, you know.
Yeah, yeah. You never scored. You got close, but
Yeah, I was on the field. I was running.
I was kicking the ball around, but
Yeah,
it never quite
like
got in there.
the ball got fumbled a lot, but yeah, I made some good recoveries, but I just didn't quite make it.
Yep, yeah. But yeah, that was a Monday, which Bubba Gump has some pretty damn good fried shrimp. That was the main reason we went tried their
Oh,
fried shrimp because Forrest Gump. So
so I was gonna mention something about that actually. Yeah, my grandma had gone to that and brought me back, I think, a T-shirt, and then also like some other souvenirs from there,
we
like
got some glasses
notebook.
that we drank out of, like the alcoholic drinks and stuff. You get to
Hmm.
keep a lot of the glasses. So we did. We have like
Cool.
5 now. Um, I don't think I got a shirt there or anything like that. The waitresses ask you questions about Forrest Gump, and I fucking answered every single one right. I was like, you ain't getting me.
That's awesome.
Like, I've watched
Oh, did
Forrest Gump
they?
too many times.
Right. Well, everyone has,
I mean, it's an
which is
amazing
probably why
movie.
they have those questions.
Yeah, yeah, probably. But yeah, they were asking. There were some questions where I had to kind of think though, because smaller parts of the movie. But I was like, nope, I know it.
Wait,
My
can you remember one of the questions?
let me think. I don't know. Shit. I don't know. I'll try and think of one while I'm telling more of my trip, and when one pops up,
All
I'll
right.
I'll tell it.
All right.
But that was Monday. After that, uh, which there was a picture that we took that's on Facebook for all the friends to see, uh,
Mm.
where it was our group taken picture by the waitress, and uh, I thought I looked really good in it. And then since I got back, I've been talking to Colton. He's been telling me about his date coming up. He told me, asking me questions about the trip. Told him stuff about the trip, and he's like, "I saw the picture of you at Bubba Gump with everybody." He's like, "Your hair looks amazing."
That sounds like him. Like, did
Uh-huh.
he say?
Well, my hair was been wind blown all day from being out there on the beach and stuff like that, and uh, I've been trying new stuff with my hair. Been trying to, um, so when it gets wind blown like that, my hair looks fucking awesome. And normally,
Right.
a lot of people's wouldn't. It look crazy, but it looked fucking good. I thought it looked good too, and it probably helped with some of the stuff that happened in the afternoon that day that I'll tell you about, not on here. But
Right. Well,
Tuesday. Oh, go ahead.
my fucking hair, like, it'll do its own thing, and then sometimes it's really nice. Like, it might part itself to one side. Like, I might have a really good, like, kind of a poof thing going on,
Right.
or puffy or puff thing. I don't know what you'd call it, but then sometimes it just looks awful. Like, I think it was maybe yesterday morning. I had woken up and my whole, like, just right here, because I had slept on, like, both sides for half the time that night,
Right.
and so I had a big old fluff of hair just right across here. I looked like a fucking skunk.
Yeah.
It was terrible, and I like brushed it a ton, and it would just not tame. Like, it just bounced right back up.
Right.
So I had to take a shower to fucking get it to like do anything.
Yeah. When my hair gets long, I've been trying to keep the fade because whenever it's long and whatever slide I sleep on, that entire side just sticks up as a huge cowlick for the rest of the day, uh, and I have to like really wash my hair for it to go down. And I don't wash my hair every day. I take a shower every day, but I don't wash my hair every day, or it gets too dry and it looks terrible. Um, so on the days where I just rinse my hair, it doesn't quite go away, and it fucking sucks because my hair just likes to stay in place. Whatever I put it in, it's gonna stay like that for the rest of the day unless I really mess with it, or uh, I use like a shit ton of some kind of spray or gel. So or if I can, if I actually do wash my hair, but I can't wash it every day, or it absolutely fucks it to all hell. That's.
Dude, I have to fucking wash my hair every day because I gotta use dandruff shampoo and
I mean,
keep up with it.
I tried this new dandruff shampoo because the only reason I have dandruff is because my heart medicine dries out my entire body completely. So I don't really have like super bad dandruff, but it does flake sometimes. So I tried out this new shampoo that I only ever use every 3 or 4 days, and it's helped it a lot. I might have to send you a link to it or something. You might try it because it's pretty damn good. It's helped my hair a lot, helped my scalp a lot. Anyways, I have way less than I used to, and there's some days I have none at all. That's pretty awesome.
I have like natural dandruff, and
A lot of people do.
yeah, well, mine, like, it's super bad. If I just stop taking mine completely, I could make art with it.
Yeah, yeah.
It would be like on paint where it was like the spray paint,
But the white, you can do
and
it like
yeah,
that.
it'd be like that.
You could go.
Like,
You could do it with your hair, and yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I've known plenty of people who have the same problem. It's the people who get like grossed out by it. It's like you do realize that all dust in the air and on things is just everyone's dead skin, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's not really something to get that grossed out by it. You know what you do? You brush it away, and if it really grosses you out that much, you'll wash your hands afterwards, and then you're good. It's like
Right.
it's nothing that it's not something you get super grossed out by. I'd understand if it was like snot and earwax and shit that was that much just everywhere. Yeah, that's when you get grossed out by it. But dandruff, it's like everyone's dead skin's everywhere. Nothing you can do about it.
Right.
Like not a big deal. But Tuesday, we went on a fucking charter, which is like a 33-foot boat, and this was 6 of us, I think. It was supposed to be Talon, his roommate, their friend, and the roommate's girlfriend, her friend, and her little brother is who they're supposed to be. And then they decided, the 2 girls, the girlfriend and her friend, decided they don't want to go. So now that's 4 people, but they were paying for 6, so they had to find 2 people to go. So the grandma went, and Talon asked me if I wanted to go, and I said, fucking sure, I guess. And for parts of the trip, I was thinking, man, I should not have said yes. And then there were other parts of the trip where I was like, okay, this isn't bad at all. Like, I still had a good time. But so 7 in the morning, we go out there. We're right on the boat. Normal charter trips, they take you like 30 miles out. But it's supposed to be really windy that day, so big waves and shit like that. So they only took us like probably 10 miles out. So we could still see like the island and everything like that. And we were fishing out by the jetties. And these fishing trips, you catch big fish, and you catch a lot of them. If the weather's right. We ended up catching a lot of them, but it took 3.5 hours before anyone caught a fish. The first fish.
God damn.
Yeah, it took for fucking ever. So we're going out there, and we're like bouncing on the waves and stuff. For whatever reason, I'm like a dog in like a truck, and they're like where a dog can't like stay put. They're like sliding around and stuff. So I'm sitting in the front of the boat, and every like big wave we hit, I was getting launched up in the air. Everyone else was able to stay planted, like it was no problem. For whatever reason, I was getting launched up into the air. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why am I getting launched into the air and nobody else is? Talon's sitting opposite of me in the same kind of seat and not moving at all. I'm like, and he was asking me, saying, he's like, what's wrong with you? What's happening? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, why? I don't know why.
You need to eat a sandwich, boy.
I'm like, on the way back, I sat in a different spot, and that didn't happen. But it's because I had something to like lean my back on and stuff. So anytime we bounced, it was just kind of like it was that. Anytime we hit a big wave. But on the way there, I was sliding around everywhere. I could not stay put. Whatever. I don't know what's wrong with me, but that was fun. Then the boat stopped, and we anchor, and we start fishing. And everyone was taking bets on the first person to throw up. We took Dramamine before we went, supposed to help with like nausea and shit like that. And the first to throw up was the 16-year-old kid who came, the brother of Talon's friend's girlfriend. He threw up first. He was hanging over the boat, puking. It was. I was dizzy whenever we got there, so I never felt sick or like I was going to throw up. But as soon as we start to fish, I'm like, all right, I got to sit down. I'm dizzy as a motherfucker. And this was after we stopped. On the way there, totally felt great, even though I was getting launched, 5 feet up in the air. I felt great. No dizzy, nothing like that. And once we stopped, it hit pretty quick. I was like, I'm dizzy as a motherfucker, dude. I had to sit down, and I'm over here dizzy watching this kid throw up, and I'm laughing my ass off while I'm dizzy because there's just something about people throwing up that makes me laugh whenever I see it. Whether they're sick or not, there's something about it. So I'm over here laughing my ass off. Then the grandma throws up after that. And then eventually, because in the morning the wind was super cold and stuff like that too, I got not dizzy probably like an hour and a half later whenever it warmed up and it was warm out there. I was like, all right, now I feel great. And we started fishing. No one caught a fish until 10:30. And that was Talon. He caught 3 catfish in a row, which were not the kind of fish we were going for. We had to throw those back. And but
yeah, what was your limit?
Our limit was depending on the type. So it was 5 of each type per person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess so. It was 5 sheep's head per person. 5 black drum was another kind we were going for, and it was 1 red drum per person. We had to get special tags for the red drums, or no, it was 3 red drum per person. And we caught out of everyone, there was only 1 red drum that was caught, but it was too old for us to keep. It was over 30 years old, and the captain told us, he's like, "You can keep it if you want, but it's going to be disgusting. Like, it's not going to be good." It's like, we might as well throw this one back out for the breed and make big red drums in the future. The person who caught that one was Talon. He caught the most fish that day. Normally he has bad luck when we go fishing. This motherfucker caught over 20 fish. We didn't keep all of them. But as a group, we kept over 30 fish.
Nice.
And he caught the biggest fish of the day too. This red drum was 42.5 inches long. So
goddamn,
it was like 4 feet long.
Fuck. Yeah, I was trying to think in my head, like...
Yeah, it was over 30 feet, not 30 feet, it was over 30 pounds. He fought it for like 10 minutes, like in the water, like on his fishing rod and everything like that. He fought it for a while and he finally got it in there. And there's another type of fish we were going for. It's called a sheep's head. It looks like a zebra more than anything, like the stripes and stuff on it. So I'm not sure why it's called a sheep's head. I caught 2 fish the entire trip, and that was in the last hour of the trip. So it took me 7 hours before I caught a fucking fish.
God damn, dude.
Yeah.
Did you keep them?
I only kept 1. The sheep's head was too small by like half an inch or something, because they had to be like 15 inches or more. I was like, motherfucker, dude. And then I caught a black drum that was like probably like 8 pounds, and it was like 20 inches long. It was a pretty decent sized fish. So I ended up having fun at the end of the day whenever I actually caught 2 fish.
Right.
But that was Tuesday, because after that I was so wiped out that I just did not want to leave our Airbnb. I was like, I've been on a boat for 8 hours. I don't want to do anything.
Right. Dude, I remember one time growing up fishing, and we were on a river, and I had known how to fish somewhat, and I was wanting to kind of do my own thing, but then my grandpa was kind of like forcing me to stand there and like him put on like the bait and like
right
with my.
You wanted to do like bob fishing probably with your bait caster.
I didn't really even do that for very long because I didn't prefer it. I like to just feel it, but...
Oh, I gotcha. Just throw it out there and just reel until something gets on it, kind of fishing, or...
Well, yeah, whenever I kind of feel the, like, pull on the tip of the pole, and then I just fucking snag it.
Oh, one of those, yeah. Yeah.
And so I just remember, like, standing there, like, pissed off, and then kind of like give that passive-aggressive look, and then like Grandma was taking pictures, and she took a picture of it, and then I remember that moment where like her and I locked eyes, and she was just like, "Oh, Brandon," just standing there like, I'm pissed.
Yeah, I had it
like fuck this.
On this trip. It's been years since I went and fished like seriously. So when I was younger, probably from like age of like 8 to probably 11. I fished all the time, and I fished pretty seriously, and had a lot of fun doing it all the time whenever I was younger. And then I didn't go fishing again until I was probably like 18 or 19 after that. Like, there's a huge gap in between it. And then since then was the last time I've been fishing, so it'd been like another 7 or 8 years since I've been fishing since that boat trip that I went on. So I was out of practice.
Yeah, I honestly haven't gone fishing in like a decade.
my my casting is what I suck at. I can't cast worth a damn. But everything else I did fine at. It was just the casting part. I did it. I either launched it like a rocket and sent it out too far, or it went 5 feet in front of me. Like I
That's not
couldn't.
necessarily too bad sending it out farther. You just I mean, like you reel it back anyway, so
Yeah.
that gives
So
you
with the kind of fishing we're over there by the jetties, these long rocks. You're supposed to get your thing to sit on top of the rocks in the water. I was sending it too far to where it was on the other side of the jetty or on top of the jetty and getting like caught in rocks and
Oh,
shit. Yeah.
that's so weird.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, so it's just it's what these kind of fish like to hang out and do. So you'd sit them on top of the rocks that were under the water, and once you cast it out, you get it on that spot and you pull. As long as there was like tension on it, you were good. If there's no tension, you do a little bit of reeling. Um, because we're on a boat, we're moving. Our shits are still already under the water. It's still moving no matter what, as long as it had tension. If it didn't have tension, it was just sitting on a rock doing nothing. But if there's a little bit of movement from our boat, then the fish we're looking at going, I want that, and they grab it. Um, so I just finally got a hang on my casting, and that's when I was able to actually catch a couple fish. Once I finally understood what I was doing, because yeah, for a while I was just launching them too far, and I couldn't get them to sit on the rocks and shit like that, so I never caught anything. And then I finally was like, okay, and this was like overhead casting, because that's how I like to do it. So then I just had to do like side cast, and I did that just fine. I'm like, all right, I guess I need a side cast, or I'm gonna fucking launch it to the moon.
I feel like with the side cast, you have just a little bit more control.
Yeah, but I was afraid of hitting somebody. You know, we have hooks and we did have shrimp on the hooks, so I probably wouldn't have hooked anybody. But I was worried about like crossing lines with people. When I go overhead, I didn't have a chance of crossing lines with anybody. But and I never ended up crossing lines, luckily. But I was just worried. I always worry about that with side casts. I'm like, I'm either gonna hit somebody or I'm gonna go over somebody else's fishing line. And but no, that didn't happen, luckily. So. That was Tuesday. Wednesday was more of the like, we went to this place called Moody Gardens. We went to an aquarium and we walked around this like rainforest they have inside of a pyramid. We saw monkeys and birds and shit. It was cool. Sloths, things like that. We got like really close to the monkeys. They have an area where there's like ropes. Like, don't get too close to the monkeys or they'll rip your face off. It's like, but you can get this close to them, and they just look at you. And they're picking bugs out of their fur and eating them and stuff. And they just stare at you. When you get too close, you'd start seeing their eyes glow red, and they were gonna kill you. But no, that was fun. We just kind of did more touristy things on Wednesday, and then Thursday we drove back. Ended up being a pretty good trip.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'm about ready to wrap up this podcast.
Think so? Yeah. I didn't know how much the vacation how much of it would be, So I'm glad it was a good part of the episode, like a good length of the of the podcast. So
right.
what was the one that we wanted to do at some point? Was it the TV shows?
Yeah, animations that we grew up watching.
Okay. When do we want to do? When do we want to do that one? Next one, or a couple down the line, or
I guess unless something else comes up, we can do it for the next one.
do it for the next one. Okay, because I wasn't sure. I know you said you didn't have many notes, but I just wasn't sure when you wanted to talk about some of the stuff that you had in our dump.
Right, which I mean that I try to use that as just like mainly backup topics.
Gotcha.
So.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, I'm gonna try and stay more on top of stuff that I can also throw in the dump that I want to talk about. Which when I was on vacation, I didn't think about it at all because I wasn't looking at any of that stuff. But now that I'm going back to work, I can see all the news articles and shit, and I'm gonna start throwing stuff in there. But yeah, do you have anything else to add for this one?
No, man, I'm just super tired at this point.
Yeah, you did have have your daughter for a whole week, so I bet that was pretty tiring.
Well, and then also like my other daughter is just waking up early, and then like I
Yeah.
stayed up on my day off, or
Oh.
the night before my day off, and so I haven't had a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I just don't get enough sleep because of them.
Yeah. Yeah. The life of a parent. It sounds like like any
Yeah, they
parent
don't.
I know. Uh,
Dude, they don't give a shit.
I did not get a lot of sleep on my vacation for a different reason because the beds were so hard and the pillows were so hard and uncomfortable that I couldn't sleep.
I actually could probably sleep pretty comfortably on that. Weirdly,
uh,
like I'm used to that kind of
it
comfort
wasn't
on
really
it.
like the bed that was the problem, it was the pillows. When the pillows are too hard, that's when I struggle. The bed can be as firm as it needs to be. I can still sleep on it as long as my pillow is comfortable. But the pillows were too hard. They were just so hard. It hurt my back. I'm an
Yeah,
old man.
those are some serious fucking pillows.
Yeah, dude, they were fucking thick, big pillows. I was trying to like fucking mash them down to try and get them to be a little bit softer. There's nothing I could do. They beat me. It sucked. But thanks everyone for watching. Hope you all
Yes.
enjoyed, and we will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.
Bye, bitches.